What if your company's network security is just an illusion? That locked door protecting your data might be easier to break than you think. In today's connected world, threats aren't just coming from outside, they could be sitting at the desk next to you. This video reveals the shocking vulnerabilities in modern networks and shows you exactly how to build real security that protects against both external hackers and internal threats. Watch now before your network becomes the next breach headline. What is security? In a perfect world, people working in the same company could have full access to the entire network. The image shows a corporate network completely isolated from the outside world. Well, even so, a malicious user could very well harass his own colleagues, or even retrieve confidential data about the company. In addition, this type of configuration, limited and compartmentalized, is no longer used at all nowadays. Today's businesses are no longer closed and are opening up to the outside world. For example, to connect to the internet, or even to link up with partners. Employees would also certainly like to be able to be mobile by being connected to the company, both from the inside and the outside. And the company could also provide limited access to the network to its guests. As the network and its connectivity grow, as shown in the image, the company will have more difficulty managing its own borders and maintaining security. Before you start securing a network, you first need to understand the threats. Think of a corporate network as a closed wall block. There is not even a door. Everything is closed from floor to ceiling with very solid materials, which means that the material inside is completely safe from damage or theft. The problem in this case is that even the business owner would have a hard time getting in or out of it. That's why we're going to add a door, and that way the owner will be able to come and go as he wants. So even if the door is locked, it doesn't mean that it is impenetrable. Besides, no door is impenetrable. It is therefore possible to find a way to access what is inside. This becomes a vulnerability. In other words, in the security field, a vulnerability is anything that can be considered a weakness that could compromise security, whether it's on data or even the performance of a system. In the example of the locked door, no one other than the owner with their key can open the door unless a tool other than the key is used. For example, a crowbar. This tool can therefore be used to exploit a vulnerability. In the world of IT, this tool can be seen as a loophole. So technically, a flaw, like the crowbar, is not necessarily dangerous in itself, unless a malicious person were to exploit this flaw. That is, he would use the crowbar to open the locked door. This gives a possibility of break-in, damage, or theft without authorization. This is what we call a threat. In the IT world, there are many different vulnerabilities and flaws which can be exploited by malicious users to become real threats in companies. In the rest of the course, we will look at and detail different threats, as well as some techniques to use to avoid or counter malicious activity. To stay on the example of our door, or could think, to add new lock, change the door frame, or even why not, put an alarm system to detect intrusions and alert the authorities. Common security threats. Since today's corporate networks contain many devices working together, securing them can become quite a complex task. So, in the next course, we're going to look at the most common threats that could pose a security problem.